Hello, hi, welcome back to my channel and to my kitchen. Today we are making 5 recipes that you can have for lunch or dinner and it takes less than 30 minutes to prepare. But before I begin, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to each and every one of you for subscribing to my channel and loving the content I have been putting out. We are now a community of more than 1,000 people and that makes me so happy and excited. And since the last video on meal prep was all about efficient cooking and a few of you commented wanting some more food and recipe videos, I thought I'll share this video and the recipes that I have been having since a few years on repeat. The good thing is all the recipes that I'll be sharing takes minimal to no chopping and prep time and is high in protein, so hopefully you'll like it. And if you do, please consider subscribing to my channel and like this video for the algorithm. Let's get into it. So the first recipe we are making is a bean hummus sandwich. It is something that I have had throughout my masters and it literally saved my life because it was such an easy recipe to make, delicious, flavorful, and perfect for grab and go. Let's make the sandwich. Since we are all about quick and efficient cooking, I am using canned red beans for this recipe. I always try to find the mushiest one, makes them easier to mash. So I'll start by mashing the beans together with some store-bought salsa. It's quick, efficient, and adds a great burst of flavor. Once that's done, I move on to the bread. Guys, if you're in Toronto, this is one of the best sourdough breads that I have ever had. This one is from Blackbird. They have a store in Leslieville and they have recently opened a store in the St. Lawrence market. And this is the Baldwin sourdough bread. I absolutely love it. It is so delicious and has the perfect crunch. It is amazing. If you are in Toronto, do give this a try. You can use a toaster if you prefer, but I love the added flavor and crunch you get when you toast it on a pan with a bit of a butter. As the bread toasts, I am prepping the toppings. I'm slicing some tomatoes, nice and thin, and cutting up some avocado. If you have guacamole ready at home, feel free to use that instead. It'll save you even more time. Once the bread is golden and crunchy, it's time to assemble. I start by spreading a generous dollop of hummus on one side of the bread and some avocado on the other. If you are using fresh avocado like I am, add a pinch of salt, pepper, a squeeze of lemon juice, and if you're like me and love some heat, a sprinkle of red chili flakes as well. Next, I layer on the bean and salsa mash all over the hummus side, followed by those thinly sliced tomatoes, and finally a handful of fresh spinach leaves for the iron. And voila! You've got yourself a delicious bean hummus sandwich, perfect for lunch. With 100 grams of boiled beans and a hearty spread of hummus, this sandwich packs approximately 10 grams of protein, ideal for a busy day. Okay, super hungry. The sandwich is done. Let's do a taste test. How pretty. Wow, it tastes exactly the same. With this sourdough, it just enhances the flavor so much. Even though we have store-bought hummus and salsa in it, the freshness is still there with the tomatoes and spinach and the avocado that we use. And I would say that even if you add some cucumbers in it, it'll still taste good. It is so delicious. I can't believe it has 10 grams of protein in it. So, and mind you, it gets only better from here. What it is also is messy. Quite messy to eat. Let me have one more bite with you. It is perfect. Okay guys, the second recipe that we are making today is a yogurt quinoa bowl with a tempering of mustard and cumin seeds. This is basically a version of dahi chawal, but it has a little more protein given how we are gonna prepare it. If you watched any of my previous vlogs, you would find me having this, so you know that I do have this on repeat. And I have this recipe especially when I have less than 15 minutes for lunch. The only prep required is that of quinoa, so you can meal prep that either on the weekend, a day before, or even in the morning. All I do is add some quinoa in a pan with some water, and for extra flavor I also add a few coriander leaves and leave it for 20 minutes on low flame and it is ready. So let's make some quinoa yogurt bowl. I start by grating half a cucumber, and between carefully avoiding a finger cut and trying to get every bit of cucumber, I somehow managed to get it done. Now here's the little tip. Don't toss out the liquid that comes from the cucumber. The juice is packed with so much flavor and it adds a very refreshing kick to the dish. Next up, I mix 100 grams of regular yogurt and 150 grams of Greek yogurt. I love using regular yogurt because it gives that familiar tangy sourness that we all know and love, just like a good homemade dahi. But the Greek yogurt, that's where the protein powerhouse comes in. Mixing these two together creates a perfect balance of flavor and nutrition. So I give it a good stir, making sure everything is well combined with just a pinch of salt to bring it all together. This mixture is a variation of the raita I've made in the past in the meal prep video. So if you have seen that, you know how much I enjoy playing around with these flavors. Now with the yogurt base ready, I add the prepped quinoa to the mix. The quinoa soaks up all the creamy goodness and adds a nice bite to the dish. But wait, we are not done yet. On the side, I'm preparing a tempering, which is where we make the dish to the next level. In about 5 to 10 grams of ghee, I'm adding mustard seeds, cumin seeds, curry leaves, and a big dried red chili. Now, a traditional tempering often includes yellow dal and chana dal as well, so feel free to toss those in if you want that extra layer of texture and flavor. Trust me, this tempering is what transforms a simple dish into something really extraordinary. Once everything is crackling and popping, I pour the tempering over our yogurt quinoa mix, and just like that, you have got a high protein yogurt quinoa bowl that's not just delicious but also super satisfying. This bowl has approximately 30 grams of protein from the combination of regular and Greek yogurt along with the quinoa, so it keeps me comfortably full until dinner time. Let's do a taste test. Again, perfection. I think adding coriander to any dish is such a flavorful hack, and also this tempering is absolutely amazing. I would have preferred it with a few green chilies, if you may, but red chili it is. This dish is such a perfect balance of gut health, flavor, protein, freshness. The cucumber adds so much freshness to this, and the coriander of course adds so much flavor. And my spice is being taken care of by red chili today. Cheers! So if you also like to make such recipes, do comment below and tell me what's your favorite high protein, quick, easy lunch or dinner recipe. Okay, for the third recipe, we are making a paneer sandwich, which in my opinion is a mix of dahi toast and cheese chutney sandwich, something that we often find on the streets of India. It is just a little healthier and higher protein version, and if I have to choose my favorite, I would say this one has to be mine amongst the 5 recipes that I'll be sharing, because I love every ingredient that goes into it individually. Also, I'll be using the green chutney that I prepared in my previous meal prep video. If you haven't watched it, it is packed with efficient cooking tips and my kitchen staples that I prepare every weekend to make my cooking life much more flavorful and easier. So if you haven't watched it, I'll put the link for you somewhere either here or in the description below, so make sure to check it out. Okay, I start by chopping some red onion into really tiny pieces. You want them small enough to blend well but still add that bit of crunch. Then I take 100 grams of Greek yogurt in a bowl and mix in the chopped onions, a pinch of salt, some black pepper, and a handful of fresh coriander leaves, cause why not? Once it's all mixed together, I set it aside, and in another bowl I take 100 grams of crumbled paneer. Paneer is an excellent source of protein, and to keep things simple here, I add just a pinch of salt with some black pepper. That's all is needed to bring out the natural flavor. Moving on to the bread, I take 2 slices and spread a generous layer of the yogurt mixture on one side. This adds a creamy, tangy flavor that pairs so well with the paneer. and on the other side I spread some green chutney. The chutney gives a bit of a spicy kick and a fresh herbal note. Then I pile the crumbled paneer on either of the side. Now it's time to toast. Heat up a pan, add a little bit of butter and let the sandwich slowly toast for a few minutes on one side until it's golden brown. Then flip it over and do the same on the other side. The bread gets crispy, the paneer warms up, and the yogurt and chutney really melt together. This dish takes less than 15 minutes on a good day, and the result is so flavorful, crunchy, protein-packed bite that's perfect for lunch or even a quick dinner. Plus, this sandwich packs a protein punch of approximately 30 grams from the Greek yogurt and the paneer. It is just perfect. Let's stack it up to make it a little more pretty. Oh. Okay guys, we're having this. I will say that the bread gets a little soggy because we add the chutney and the Greek yogurt, both of which have a little bit of water in it. But if you have it quickly, it's just fine. It is as crunchy as it could be. But what I will say is this is packed with flavor and delicious. Okay, after having 3 full meals packed with protein, I am so stuffed and I don't have it in me to have 2 more dishes. So I'll see you tomorrow for the next 2 meals. Okay guys, we are back and we are making the 4th recipe now, which is Besan Chilla with some paneer and cheese. This is also something that I've shared briefly in the meal prep video, but if this is your first video of mine, I didn't want you to miss out on this. So besan is basically chickpea flour in Hindi, and it is a very common ingredient in an Indian household or Indian kitchen, and it can be used for numerous things as a thickener or something like a besan chilla. Besan chilla is also something that a lot of people call vegan omelette. So if you like that sort of a flavor, this is something for you. Alright, I start by chopping some onions, tomatoes, and fresh coriander leaves. If you like a bit of heat, you can also throw in some finely chopped green chilies. In a bowl, I'm adding 50 grams of chickpea flour. This is the base of our chilla and brings a good dose of protein and fiber. To that, I add the chopped vegetables, a pinch of turmeric powder for color, earthiness, and of course its benefits, some red chili powder for the subtle kick, and of course salt to taste. Then I gradually add water while mixing to ensure there are no lumps. We want a smooth batter here. Now heat up a pan with a little bit of oil and pour in the batter, spreading it evenly on the pan. Once the chilla starts to solidify a bit and you see the edges lifting, it's time to elevate the flavor. I sprinkle about 20 grams of Parmesan cheese on top. The Parmesan adds a rich, cheesy flavor that really enhances this dish. But if you're feeling a little adventurous, you could also use apple smoked cheddar, which again has the smokiness and pairs beautifully with the chickpea flour, adding a whole new layer of flavor. To really amp up the protein content, I'm also adding some crumbled paneer on top. The paneer not only boosts the protein but also adds a creamy texture that melts in your mouth with each bite. Let it cook for a few minutes until the cheese is slightly melted and the chilla is golden brown and crispy on the edges. Then flip it over gently to let the other side cook for another couple of minutes. This chilla is not just quick and easy but also incredibly flavorful with a delightful mix of spices, vegetables, and of course the cheesy goodness. And the best part is that it has 25 grams of protein, making it a hearty and satisfying meal. This is so flavorful. I recommend adding the tomato chutney or the date and tamarind chutney with the green chutney. Since we added a little bit of red chili powder, this could be a little spicy. So the sweetness from the ketchup or the date and tamarind chutney makes it even more flavorful, and that's how I like it. Enjoy! Okay, now we are making the fifth recipe. This is my healthier take on a very loved Indian street food called chaat. Last but certainly not least, for the fifth recipe, we are making a healthier, high protein version of a beloved Indian street food, chaat. There are countless ways to make this, but whenever I'm craving that delicious street food flavor without extra indulgence, this is my go-to recipe. For this chaat, you'll need some boiled potatoes, yogurt, chickpeas, and two kinds of chutney, the green chutney and date and tamarind chutney. We'll also need some pomegranate seeds for that burst of sweetness and freshness. And optionally, you can also use bhujia for garnish. Bhujia is a crispy snack from Indian stores, but you can totally skip it if that's what you prefer. The date and tamarind chutney is also something that I buy from the Indian store. This dish does require a bit of prep, but it's incredibly simple because all we have to do is assemble once you have all the prepped ingredients. The key to a quick assembly is having your green chutney and the boiled potatoes ready. Here is how it all comes together. In a bowl, I add one boiled potato chopped into chunks. Mix in about 200 grams of yogurt, combining both 100 grams of regular yogurt for tanginess and 150 grams of Greek yogurt for that extra protein boost. The yogurt mixture should be seasoned with a pinch of salt and a spoonful of sugar for that perfect balance of flavor. And once I add it in a bowl, I also add some roasted cumin powder and some red chili on top. Next, I add 100 grams of boiled chickpeas. I am using canned chickpeas because we are all about efficiency here, but if you prefer, you can also use freshly boiled ones, but it does take its time. Then drizzle over your green chutney, the date and tamarind chutney. The chutneys add layers of flavor, tangy, spicy, sweet, and for the finishing touch, sprinkle on some pomegranate seeds for a pop of color and sweetness. It just looks so pretty. Add a handful of bhujia if you like for that extra crunch and garnish with fresh coriander leaves. There you have it. This healthier chaat is not only delicious but packs a protein punch of about 28 grams. It's perfect for a meal, or if you want, you can also have it as a snack. Wanna try?
Superb. The pomegranate is amazing.
Would you approve this for a 30-minute lunch? Quick 30-minute delicious lunch?
Absolutely. And it is tangy and spicy. Enough to keep you awake. No lunch lethargy.
That's the selling point. Alright guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and liked some of the recipes that I shared. If you did, please consider subscribing to my channel and like this video for the algorithm. If you do give some of the recipes a try, do let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you and see you in the next one.